Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Raiti's Rides, and you might be saying to yourself, hold on a second, didn't we already see this beautiful red S2000 in another video of his? You're 100% correct. Well, guess what? We're back around a second time. I promised you that the owner of this car was taking his baby to a very special place down in Pinellas Park, Florida. It's LHT Performance. That is the place where if you have, especially an S2000, you want to take it down there, see John, and he's going to work his magic on your S2000. Plus, he works on a plethora of other cars as well. So we're not going to do a full in-depth review of this S2000. If you have not seen that yet, please go to my playlist and click on that in-depth review of this car so that you can get a better idea of what is the magic when it comes to a Honda S2000. Now, I know some of you had a question last time. A very popular question was, what is this AP1, AP2 thing? What does it stand for? Well, guess what? It doesn't stand for anything. That is a chassis code designation to separate the first generation of the Honda S2000, which would be the AP1s, and something like this model, which is the AP2. So AP doesn't stand for advanced performance or anything like that. It's just a chassis code designation, sort of like what Honda uses with their Civics with the FK designation, whether it's an FK8, FK2, so on and so forth. But anyways, here's the car again. Most of the magic obviously is going to be underneath that hood. But remember, what makes these cars so enjoyable is that ultra lightweight and that four cylinder that's going to scream to 8,000 RPM. That's what makes the magic happen. Now, the first time I drove this car, I was blown away. I wanted to get down to my dealer and try to find a used one. And I can't wait to see what this car is like after John from LHT has worked, like I said, his magic on that. So if you're ready, I'm ready to pop that hood and get into the down and dirty about this car. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are back under the hood of this 2007 Honda S2000. Now, remember, with this being an AP2, it has that 2.2 liter inline four. If you go back a few years before that with the AP1, that's a 2 liter inline four. That's the biggest designation between the two, between the AP1 and the AP2. Now, when it comes to getting the biggest bang for your buck, because remember, this video is all about the owner wanted to improve upon what Honda did. Now, his plan is eventually to get that supercharger in here, like a lot of other Honda S2000 owners have gone. But that's some big money. We're talking about $5,000, $6,000. What's something that everybody out there can do to their Honda S2000 that's a little bit more budget friendly? And what it's all about is increasing that airflow to the engine. By increasing the airflow, more air with that spark and more fuel is going to create a bigger kaboom underneath the hood, which is going to be the more power. And guess what? You're also going to get the great sound. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start at the front end of the business here. I want to focus on the air box. I'm going to go ahead and take the cover off. And what you're going to see here is the first part is a snorkel. Now, remember, Honda engineers have worked very hard to try to get the most performance out of the stock piece. And there's some restrictions that they have. There's noise restrictions. There's all sorts of stuff. So this first inlet is a place where a Dremel tool was taken and they cut out the baffles inside. That's going to allow an increase of air into the air box. The next part I want to show you, if my cameraman could zoom in here, is there's a big, huge baffle that runs right here in the air box. That's been dremeled out. That's going to allow more air to get into the next update in this air box, which is the K&N cone filter. This is going to also increase airflow. So everything from the start to the filter is all about getting increased airflow, is going to give you more horsepower, and it's going to give you more sound. The next thing we need to focus on now that we're done with the air box is that Skunk 2 alpha header. Now, I know you're probably saying, what does a header do? Well, with a header, compared to the exhaust manifold, it's going to increase that exhaust gas flow. It's not just about getting air into the engine, it's about getting the exhaust gases out. Another nice thing when it comes to the eye is look how pretty that exhaust header looks. I mean, that thing is gorgeous. It's going to increase your sound, it's going to increase your overall performance, and it's about the package. That's what the whole thing is. It's not just about modifying the airbox. You know, some people like to do cold air intakes with metal piping. That metal piping is actually going to rob you of power. The plastic is the better way to go, and that's what John at LHT, with his decades of experience, has discovered, is that that box is good. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit. Now, the last thing you want to do is, before you close the hood and go drive off into the sunset, is you want to get a Honda Flash Pro done to this car. What that's going to do is that's going to adjust the parameters of how those injectors are firing fuel, all that good stuff, how the air's coming in. Let me show you something just to prove a point. This is the actual dyno sheet. We're not making this stuff up, guys. Check out the horsepower that's to the rear wheels. That's 229 horsepower. Now, I know some of you are probably saying, hold on a second. Doesn't the Honda S2000 come with over 230 horsepower from the factory? Yeah, at the crank, not at the rear wheels. So this car is producing more horsepower now than it did when it was brand new. Plus, the owner's going to get that great drivability. He's going to get this intake sound that he wants, and he's going to get better performance overall. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about, taking it to the next step, to spend a little money and you get a lot more in return. So I don't know about you. I'm ready to hear this thing, and I'm ready to take it out the road to see what does the difference feel like. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we are in the Honda S2000. We fired her up. Let's go ahead and take her out and see if we could now feel that difference in the drivability. Now, obviously, this thing isn't going to turn into a drag race monster by the mods that we did, but it is going to help with that drivability. It's going to help with the performance and the fun factor. If you're buying one of these cars to be the drag race king from stoplight to stoplight, you're in the wrong car. If you want something that's fun, that you could have a blast in no matter what day it is of the week, this is the car for you. So I'm to go ahead and take this slick shifting 6-speed, put in first gear, and we are off. So immediately, one thing I remember from the S2000 from last time is that the transmission, the throws in it are just so short, they're crisp. I like the way it's just, it feels like a glove. It feels like you just slide into a nice glove. Always a pleasure to drive one of these. I can't wait to hear that intake noise and just the overall drivability of this car. I definitely feel a difference in this car. I'm telling you, like the title of this video, best mods on a budget, this is what it's all about. The car, it breathes a lot easier, especially in those higher revs. It just is a lot smoother overall, and you can't beat that intake sound. When you get up to 6,000, 7,000 RPM, the intake sound in this car is just unreal. This car is even more fun to drive. I really can't fault it. The only thing I can fault about this car is that Honda stopped making them. It really is a go-kart, guys. right, guys. So you can see exactly why I brought you back to this car. After getting back from that little ride, I'm telling you, if you have a Honda S2000 and you have a little bit of cash in your pocket, the mods that were done by this owner to the car, you need to go out and do those same mods. Not only is it going to increase your performance, not only is it going to increase drivability, but it's going to increase the amount of smiles that you have per mile. Because this car, I've driven a lot of cars over the years. And as many of you are aware, I used to race cars. I don't think there's really any car that I've been in, besides a race car, where you are more connected to the asphalt, to the tarmac than a Honda S2000. And like I was telling you earlier today in the video, I think the biggest fault I could find in this car is that Honda doesn't make it anymore. Why they would kill off such an amazing vehicle is beyond me. And like I told you in the last review, if you are considering a Honda S2000, you need to get out there now and go find one because the prices are not going down anytime soon and they're getting harder and harder to find, especially one that hasn't been molested by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. The owner of this car, he's owned a Honda S2000 before. He's obviously taken it to the best place on the planet, LHT, to get the work done in Pinellas Park, Florida. And it's about that experience. When you pull up to a car show, when you go to a track event or autocross event, and you see other Honda S2000 owners, it's about being part of that community because you know and I know when it comes to cars like these, it's not about some crazy horsepower number. Go buy a Mustang. You'll be drag race king of the world at your next stoplight on your way to get a 7-Eleven Slurpee. Buying one of these, though, it's going to make you feel something that a lot of drivers out there don't feel, that fun factor, that performance factor. And I'm telling you, if you have one of these S2000s, make your way to a track day or an autocross event because I'm telling you, it's going to blow you away the power that you're able to actually use from this car. That whole 229 horsepower to the rear wheels, you're going to be able to use it and it's going to be a great experience. So I'm hoping that this video was something that has continued your love of S2000s, has taught you a little bit more about the S2000. I'm hoping and I'm praying that the owner of this car is going to go that next step. It's a big step, but it's one hell of a step, getting that supercharger underneath the hood. If you like seeing cars like this, leave a comment in that comment section. If you haven't visited my Instagram page, check me out at RAITI'S Rides on Instagram, Twitter, and I have my own website, RAITI'sRides.com. You can leave a message there. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, make it ring a ding ding. That's going to tell you that you're going to get instant notifications from my daily uploads. Good quality stuff. You'll keep wanting to come back for more. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.